Welcome to the Grizzled Geek. I'm Mike,
I'm Doug.
and we're here today to talk about Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, or Chapter 9,
Chapter
as
9.
as they're
Yeah.
calling it. So
Hmm.
it's like it's one continuous story.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Although they do a good job in this episode of setting up a new story, so I don't even think you needed to go that Chapter 9 route, in my opinion. But hey, that's fine.
Yeah. It just seems like something that they didn't need to do, but, oh well. Oh, there's something open here right in front of my... Yeah. Pushing
All
buttons.
right. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it here. I know we got a chance to see it. I saw it like literally midnight Thursday. I stayed up. Was like, I got to see this.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with it. I mean, they needed to kick off as popular as the first season was, and as good as it was. They really needed to kick off season 2 with a bang, and I think they did. I think we'll talk non-spoiler first, I guess,
Okay.
and then
Yep.
when a little spoiler thing comes up, we'll know. Talking spoilers, but I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. I really liked it. I have very few gripes about it at all. Doug has a few, but I loved it. It brought back all kinds of memories from several things like outside of the main. Bringing some of this extended universe stuff into it.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. So, yeah, go ahead. What do you think, Doug?
I liked it a lot. Like I said, there's a couple of stylistic things that I had some issues with, but the story was great. The action was cool. I think in most areas they've upped their production value. I thought it was the great start to a new story. That's why I'm saying I don't know that I like the Chapter 9 vibe, because this feels more like book 2 of so it's
Yeah.
a separate story that continues a previous volume, but it does a great job of setting up the intrigue for the entire season.
Yeah, I agree.
There are things that happen that you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And you can see the direction the story might take. So you're kind of like, oh yeah, I can't wait. So in that sense, I think it built what it needed to.
Yeah.
It treated you like you were a fan, that you watched all of season 1. It didn't feel the need to, it had a little like recap at the beginning, but it wasn't that much.
They did a little recap video of season 1 in the beginning, but they didn't bother doing a lot of exposition in the story about it.
Right. Yeah. It just basically went through this is where he is now, just in case you forgot, with all of the cool action that was going on. This is what he's trying to accomplish this season.
Yeah.
So I liked it in that sense. I thought it was a great start to the new story.
All right. So where does it rank for you compared to the episode of the first season?
I don't know. It kind of, I haven't really tried to like rank order those, because I know I liked some stuff. Like I know that everybody else, and I'm saying that broadly, everybody else liked the first 3 episodes, and that was like, oh, you can't beat the first 3 episodes. They were so good. I'm not in that camp where those 3 episodes were just the perfect and everything.
I like the episode with the prison break and the last episode better than the first 3.
See, a lot of people say the prison break is their least favorite. That's
Really?
kind of universally felt to be the weakest episode, but I've
always heard
agree.
It was the first Cara Dune one with the ATST walker was the weakest.
Oh, maybe. I honestly don't like the one with the Jawas. I think it was number 2.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like it. That's the wrong term. It is one of the weaker ones because it's so slow, and it's just kind of, it's not even character driven, because it's more about the guy introducing the Ugnaught, who's not really an Ugnaught,
Found his
to us
tusk.
more than it was about the Mandalorian, in my opinion. But I would say this is among the best, maybe top 25%.
Yeah.
So if you say out of 9 episodes, it would be, well, 3 or 4, maybe.
Really?
It's really good.
I would put it up there. I'd put it up there right behind
Yeah.
8. I think the last season finale was amazing.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I think that's my favorite episode.
Yeah. I think it ranks right behind that.
I wouldn't put it like 2, but it's in the top half. Well, when you talk, we're only talking 9 episodes.
Right, it's only 9 episodes. It's still
it's someplace in 3. It's 3 or 4 for me.
There's no episodes that I don't like. So
yes, correct.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Some felt slow, but there were no bad episodes in my opinion. So that being said, this was one of the more I felt high octane ones. There is a lot of traveling, which is pretty common in his episodes, but I feel like those are usually meant to put you in the universe.
Yes,
and they do that pretty well. And this was long enough that those interludes of travel felt like they usually had a purpose. They weren't just filler shots and stuff. Yeah. So,
no, I agree. So,
but yeah,
all right, 1 out of 5. What are we rating this episode?
4.7.
4.7. Okay.
Considering that there is no episode that I would rank lower than 4.3.
Yeah, they're all. All right, Doug's setting his scale high.
They are all B+ shows or better.
This is odd. I think I was going to rank it 4.5, and I think I liked it a little bit more than you did. So, which is odd, but all right.
Well, and I'm thinking about. I'm not doing it on a comparative scale because I think episode 8 was a 5.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was most assuredly a 5.
It was everything we wanted in an episode.
Yeah,
episode
and
5.
there are this one and a couple others were kind of like this is near perfect for a TV show.
Yeah.
Now I do have some, like I said, I have a couple of issues that are stylistic, not not more than that. So
let's get into it here. All right, guys.
Let's get the spoilers.
That's you have our recommendation for it. 4.7, 4.5. Very highly rated episode here.
Yeah.
It's spoiler time, guys. We're going to jump into spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the episode,
warning.
Go check it out and then come back. I'll put a little spoiler thing coming up here. So, all right, spoiler talk here. I will say I like the traveling parts and the slower build up in the beginning because it followed this. I think out of any episode was very Western influenced, right? This was a Western set in Star Wars universe, right?
Yeah.
To the point.
I mean, this was almost another Magnificent Seven kind of thing, but less so.
Right. But it has that vibe. Like when he's rolling into town slowly on a speeder bike. Like a stranger on his horse, and they're looking out there. Like, the only thing lacking is a tumbleweed rolling across the.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah,
that is straight up a Western, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So you, having read the Aftermath novels, were you a Cobb Vanth or?
No, I don't. I could care less about it. I mean, he was cool in this episode. It didn't really matter. So I guess let's start from the beginning and we'll work our way to.
All right. So what do you? Let's get the gripes out of the way real quick because I think you had a couple. I didn't have hardly any. So let's talk about it.
My biggest gripe was those Gamorreans. They were dad bod Gamorreans, or they were awful in my opinion.
Dad bod Gamorreans.
Yeah, they looked like they got a couple guy with paunches and threw some like skin, I don't know, with furry britches on them and then painted them green. I'm not sure if it's paint or because there's another shot that's closer up on their legs.
Yeah.
That really looked like the guy was just wearing green tights.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I was just like.
I love Gamorreans, and I'll give you this. These are not as fat as the ones that were in Jabba's palace, but I mean, obviously they're gladiators. They'd be more buff. But yeah, these
But
are
they
not.
don't look buff. That's the
don't.
problem. They don't look buff. They look like dad bods. They've got the little paunch. They've got a little bit of meat on them, but they're not defined anyway. Because I think that was their.
Here's what you're looking for, Doug. That's
yeah. Now I will say, at least when you stop, if you paused or you took a still shot, at least you can see the pig face. But with I don't know if they were supposedly wearing personal shields or if that was
I think
their,
so.
or if they were just using what are those weapons called? I want to say stun weapons, but it's not. It's
I don't know.
Vibro weapons.
Vibro, yeah. Well,
I don't know if that was supposed to be the vibro effect or if they were wearing personal shields, but every time you turned to them, they were just clacking their axes together. It wasn't even a very good fight.
Yeah.
And you got the little shield effect so that you really couldn't see them other than that. Look, those dudes are way too small to be Gamorreans. What is going on here?
They're just background dressing for the scene, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, in which
cool
case,
nod.
If that was what you were going for, give us the fat Gamorreans that we got in Jabba's palace. Why would you even change? Why bother to change it?
They got the faces. They got the faces correct.
Yeah, they're pretty close, and what they're wearing is accurate. But I just didn't like them the way they were presented. It kind of took me out of the scene. I was just like, what is going on with these guys?
Having a look at this picture up close, I'm like, okay, yeah, those legs were kind of small. But to be honest with you, it didn't bother me in the moment because I was too into the scene and what was going on.
It just was so distracting for me. I was like, and there was one point I was like, is that dude wearing leggings? What is going on here?
Maybe they're support leggings. He's got, Gamorreans got to keep their calves.
And they're flesh colored for them.
That's right, exactly. That's Gamorrean flesh colored leggings. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't have as big a problem with those as you did. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but having looked at
otherwise, that opening scene was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering if those red eyes were supposed to be like womp rats or something, but we really don't ever get a clear idea.
Yeah. Well, you see womp
what
rats
all the creatures
in Tatooine. They're a lot smaller, but
yeah,
I don't know what
they're not much bigger than a meter.
No.
I was like. Those are not a meter.
Those are baby womp rats.
Those aren't real womp rats.
Yeah, you gotta stay away.
But anyways,
all right. So, what was your other? Did you have any other issues with it?
A couple. I just think about it. I don't like. Is it Amy Sedaris or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't like her character. She's just not very natural. Everything feels very forced.
That's a very popular opinion. People don't like out of all the guest character appearances, she's like the least. I
like the droids.
Yeah.
And I'm not bothered by the fact that you have R5 there.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. I know some people are like, that's a step too far. I was like, no, that's fine.
That's fine. He's there.
Somebody found him, bought him, fixed him. That's fine.
But you figure they'd clean up the scorch marks from his bad motivator.
People on Tatooine don't care that much.
They don't. They're just like
there.
Yep.
Just if it's functional, it's functional.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But she's just kind of not.
Yeah. She's a. I don't have a problem with her. I thought this was the right amount. If they're going to have her in there, this was the right amount. She's just quick.
Right.
Funny little quips about the baby, and then she, that's it. In and out.
It is kind of funny that, and I owe this to. You ever watch Eckhart's Ladder?
No.
He's a Star Wars YouTuber. He's really cool. He made the point, and I'm not sure if it was originated with him or if he just heard it from people on Twitter or whatever. But she was essentially like hey, look how Mando's grown and likes droids now.
Yeah.
That was her entire point.
That was the whole point. Yeah.
Was like, look, he likes droids now. It's okay.
I love how he's like he's iffy, and he finally lets him work on his ship, and then they're messing it up while he's right there. I'm like, gonna wreck all the goodwill he built.
Although that makes me think about Star Tours, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so after moving out of the movie scene, we come back to Tatooine. Everyone's all like, Tatooine again? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It is the center of the Star Wars universe. It is.
Well, and if you're gonna be bringing
Yeah,
Boba Fett in, of course you have to go to
you gotta
Tatooine.
have. Yeah, you kind of have to go there. So,
Yeah.
what were you thinking when you rode into that town? Were you thinking it was going to be Boba Fett right off the bat, or did you have any idea that
Um,
it was going to be Cobb Vance? Or
I got to be honest, I forgot about Cobb Vance. I
mm,
read about him in the Aftermath trilogy.
yeah,
Those books are so bad and those chapters with Cobb Vance are so pointless that I just forgot.
you're just like, whatever. Yeah,
It's kind of hilarious because it's like a fourth tier story that's going on in those books
yeah,
where there's just these random scenes with the various bounty hunters that go absolutely nowhere. By the end of the book, you're just like, I don't even know why those chapters were in here.
yeah.
Just because they were characters who had names on toys and what? I got no idea.
Yeah,
So
it's. Thing is, I got warned against it because I watched this and I'm like, I want to read more about Cobb Vanth because I like the character so much, and then I'm like,
mhm.
you basically they showed you the story, you know.
Did he appear in a comic book too?
I don't
For
know.
some reason, I thought he was in a comic book as
He
well.
might have been. He might have been, but yeah. I mean, it was definitely cool, and it was cool that I think part of the reason why it was cool is because it was Timothy Olyphant playing him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Um, Did you? Oh, another thing. In one of those guys walking along while he's riding into town, he's like wheeling in a barrel or something like that. It was Sam Witwer, the guy who does Darth Maul's voice, and
Oh, really?
yeah, he does a bunch of stuff for Star Wars.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
he does a bunch of voices.
That's cool.
He's an awesome guy, but they had him in there kind of
Yeah.
cameo. I'm like, I know who that is.
That's cool.
But yeah, Timothy Olyphant, man, he's a handsome dude. I like it. He looks. I'm thinking Deadwood, right? So like the younger Timothy Olyphant. So when he first takes the helmet off and he's all gray with a goatee, I'm like, who's this guy? He looked like Pierce Brosnan to me.
Hey, are you able to move our images off to the side so we can get a better look at him?
I can. Give me 1 second here.
Okay. I think the thing that stood out to me the most when he showed up, because I thought when he went to the town, I was like, okay, he's going to get a clue here. And then when he appeared in the doorway, I was like, that's not Boba Fett.
That's not Boba Fett. Who's this guy?
Because look how small he is compared to the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
He's just like,
he's tall and thin, right?
yeah, tall and thin, and yeah.
Where,
So when you saw him in the armor, you're just like going, that guy's too small.
yeah,
Is that a kid wearing the armor?
Yeah.
What is going on?
It looks like looks like a little kid wearing his big brother's clothes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense.
So I was like, oh,
it wasn't meant for him, right? It wasn't built for him,
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Look at that handsome guy.
All right. Yeah. So, anyways, when he showed up, I was like, "Oh, cool! It's Boba Fett's armor." But who is that dude? And,
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm the Marshal." I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
Yeah.
Because it was totally It's been so long since I read the Aftermath books, and they are largely so forgettable that everything that isn't directly tied to something else that's happened in the universe, it's easy to forget about what happened in those. So
see, I really liked that. I really liked the character. I liked the flashback a little bit about the Death Star blowing up. Getting to see that because we get to see it from all of, like the big cities and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And having like a little backwoods town, this would be, a big important time for him, and they have that little flashback nod to it, and then having the Jawas rescue. Well, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you think, and going back to the whole Western theme, in fact, this was very Western theme. Was it the teaming up with the Sand People? Was that a little too on the nose as far as like the settlers have to team up with the natives, to overcome the bad guy, kind of thing? I loved it personally. For me, I thought this was total.
Yeah.
This was Western from the beginning to the end, right? And I'm just like,
that is hilarious. That yeah, I suppose. I won't say it was too on the nose because it didn't really occur to me. I didn't put the two and two together on that and go, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was totally like straight out of a Western, but I didn't mind it because it worked so well, and it gave that extra depth to the Sand People that you only got in the novels and stuff like that. The extended universe stuff, it was never. They were always just savages, when no one cared. Now you look at it like Anakin slaughtered these people, and they're kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I liked the dive into the Sand People a little bit and making them more than just like the savages that we saw before.
Yeah.
But that brings us down to the finale. The finale, which I'm so glad I was watching on a high definition monitor when it switched. It switched to IMAX. Basically, it was filmed in IMAX the whole
Oh,
end.
okay.
And when the aspect ratio changed on me, I'm like, "Whoa, what just happened?" And then they get the first close up of the crate dragon, and I was just like, "Oh my god, that is."
Yeah.
Wow. Say what you want about... They had to save money on the Gamorrean legs so they could make this crate dragon look as awesome as it did, because it was amazing. Yeah. And I will say this. I don't know if you remember this, or if you played Knights of the Old Republic.
I didn't, no.
This was a mission straight out of Knights of the Old Republic. Like, literally, you're going to kill a crate dragon for its pearl, or actually, you're going to kill it for Sand People. So you team up with Sand People... You go to the Crate Dragon cave, you lay explosives down and get it to come out so you can blow it up underneath it, because that's its only vulnerable spot. All that comes straight out of Knights of the Old Republic.
Nice. That's cool.
Later in the game, Tatooine mission. It is... I was like watching this going, oh my god, this is the video game mission. This is straight out of the game.
Yeah.
And it looks way cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts on this big battle?
It was pretty stinking awesome. I liked a lot of it. The only thing is the Disneyfication of the I don't know. You want to say infinite people or whatever? It's like we see the dragon kill.
You can't see acid melted people in a Disney.
I gotta say, yeah, I wasn't real fan of the acid. I'm like, this isn't a D&D dragon, and I don't need it to have a breath weapon.
Yeah.
So that was kind of silly, especially when you consider you can't really show the true effects of it. And when you look at all of the establishing shots, you watch the Sand People come into town, you see their camps, and you're like, what are there, 10, 15 of them?
Yeah.
Well, you see them theoretically melt 6 or 8 of them, and then yet there's still 10 of them left at the end. You're like, what is going? You got one eaten when you were trying to bait the trap.
I love that scene, by the way.
Then he's come up and and then you come up and he's like, I love that because it established that the dragon's smart.
Yeah.
Which was cool. Yeah, there were several scenes where it was like, oh crap, a bunch of people got eaten or a bunch of people got melted by acid, but then everybody's fine at the end.
Yeah. No acid street bodies.
None of you should have survived based on what was happening in those scenes. But all right, that's fine.
Yeah. Maybe it's not.
So you get that, it's super dangerous, but everything's fine at the end.
There's not a whole bunch of dead, melted bodies at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool, and the acid kind of is part of the Knights of the Old Republic lore, as is the Pearl. The fact that they added the Pearl in there, I was like, oh, man, that's straight out of Knights of the Old Republic. So, I loved it. I think my favorite scene was the jetpack scene. Obviously, when they armor up and fly off to fight it on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
That was just like
the fact that their blasters don't do crap to it.
Yeah.
That was explosives don't do crap to it apparently from the outside.
You see how big that thing was? I was like, I'm like, wow. And then the fact, like, I don't know, Boba Fett needs to get a better jetpack, man, because he's got the faulty jetpack where you bump it and he goes flying off just like he didn't.
Oh yeah.
It was the same sound effect as Return of the Jedi when he got launched. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, I mean that scene was amazing. And then when Mando getting eaten, I'm like, oh really? That's what's. I'm like, I was gonna, and then I forgot all about it. It's just shock weapons,
shock lance thing. Yeah,
pulse rifle, whatever's got
I'm a,
shock lance on.
we're following a new Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I guess Cobb Vanth is the Mandalorian now. All the rumors were correct. No, it was amazing. But all right, let's talk about the end reveal, Doug.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can't believe there's still a debate about this online right now, where people are not sure whether that was Boba Fett, and I'm like, who? They're like, it's not Cody. It's it's not Rex.
It can't be any of them because they would have they'd all be considerably older.
Yeah, and they've established that he's got a big white beard, right? So we're gonna see that if we see him.
Oh, Rex. Yeah. Well, from my understanding, they have apparently now established in canon somewhere. I don't that he's in Return of the Jedi. He's on the commando team.
Yeah, there's a big white beard guy in the commando team.
Yeah. So we know he's there, and we know that they age at approximately twice the age. Twice maybe even 3 times.
Yeah.
The normal rate of aging. So he's another 10 to 15 years old. That's not Rex. That's not a clone. There's
people saying that he looks like they put old age makeup on him. Like, oh, that was scars. He was in acid. You know what I mean?
One, the actor's older now.
Yeah.
And yeah, they gave him scars and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're going to because they state that the dragon's living in an abandoned Sarlacc pit, to which the Mandalorians are like, Sarlacc pits aren't abandoned. It's like, well, if you ate the previous, if you eat the Sarlacc, it is. So, and crate dragons are big enough to eat Sarlacc, so one can presume that was the Sarlacc's pit, and that's probably how he got away.
Yeah.
He was still alive inside with the dragon ate the Sarlacc.
Yeah.
And then, escaped at some point when he was, being torn open.
After like a badass with a sand person gassy stick and a big long rifle.
Yeah.
Over his back. So yeah, he looked pretty awesome. So that's Boba Fett, kids. I don't know what
Here was something I was surprised about, is there's no sign of Ming-Na Wen's character, who presumably the Marshal saved.
Or, because if you go back and look at that, he looks like he's wearing a cape.
Is he wearing the boots?
He's wearing a cape, and he's got the little, the spurs jangling when he walks up.
Because they definitely didn't they? I could have swore they gave the Marshal, I can't remember his name, Cobb. I could have swore they gave him the spurs down.
They might have, but if you look at it, it looks like he's wearing a long cape or poncho like Fett's wearing at the end. So it could be either one. Yeah, we don't know who saved who, but it could be Boba Fett and went out there. If she was saved, there's no proof that she was alive. He just found the body. So he could just be tracking him down. So I don't know, but. All right, predictions here. How soon in the series we're going to see Boba Fett return? So he's going to be something at the end of the season, or is it going to be,
I don't know.
And he's going to be and here's the other question: is he going to be he's going to team up, or is he going to be an enemy?
Wow. I feel like since we have never had the show follow another character for more than a couple seconds. Yeah. I have a feeling that we're not going to see him for a while because you can't bring him until they actually encounter each other.
Right.
So we might get a scene in the second or third episode showing how he gets off Tatooine.
Yeah.
Like he kills somebody and takes their ship or something like that. So he can follow him. But I think he's going to be a second half of the series, last couple of episodes. And he's kind of got to be a bad guy. I think because if you introduce Sabine and Ahsoka, two good guys. You
Mhm.
can't. I mean,
Plus, he hates Jedi's. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Mandalorians theoretically.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So who knows? Um,
I
how will
don't
the
know.
fact that he's not really a Mandalorian factor in?
Yet the Fett name goes all the way back in Mandalore history of
Yeah.
Mandalore. So
Yeah. They never really explain how
why they're not?
Django gets the Fett name or
Yeah.
why they're not officially. Yeah, it's just weird. Um, but when when he was so pissed about the guy wearing Mandalorian armor that was, I mean, with
Yeah.
not being a Mandalorian, he's like, "That's my armor.
Yeah.
You're not a Mandalorian." So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a feeling that you can't stack too many people on the good guy side.
Yeah.
Unless you're really unless there is another rumor out there that we're leading up to Thrawn coming back.
Yeah. Thrawn, as
And
they're
if
saying.
that's going, then that kind of stacks the weight to the bad guy side. Although Thrawn is a little too high level bad guy for this kind of show.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how he's dispossessed after the fall of the
Yeah.
Empire. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's hard to say, but
Yeah.
I lean towards him being a bad guy
Okay.
just because of Sabine and Ahsoka
Fair enough. But
and possibly Shay Vizsla.
right. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I think that's going to about do it for us today.
Yeah.
Going into this, we'll definitely review the second one when it comes out. We'll do this through here. I'd like to do like a watch, but our schedules don't really line up for that. So
Yeah.
it kind of messes up. But
Well, and unlike Ruby, I have a feeling that we'd get a. You have to be really careful about how you.
yeah, you got to edit that down. But there's quite a few
Yeah.
people out there watching it. So. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening to us go goob about the Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, or Chapter 9, as they're calling it. So we'll be back with some more Mandalorian goodness next week. So look out for that. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, share this channel with your friends. We've got quite a few new subscribers recently, and we really appreciate it, guys. If you want to support the channel and the things that we do here, Doug, how can they help us out?
We have 3 links in our description down below. One's to our Patreon, where we've got some people hanging in there strong, even during these trying times.
Yep.
We've also got a Teespring store where Mike's put on some new items, including some masks.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly, there's an Amazon affiliate link down there. You know you're going to do shopping through Amazon, and if you just click that link beforehand, we get a small kickback. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It's a super easy way to support us.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.